Hi everyone, Clismall Designs here, and this is part 17A of the HK 1/32 scale B25B Mitchell build. So part 17 is going to be broken down into two parts, part 17A and then part 17B. And that's because we have some choices to make here as far as the props as well as the top turret. And then of course, with painting the main fuselage here, there's some parts that need to go on. So I want to show you what it looks like before we do that, as well as talking about the sanding and whatnot. So let's get started with the fuselage here. I just wanted to show you what it looks like with the so-called glass here. And you know, a lot of people say, why do you go through so much detail on the inside when you're not going to be able to see it? And you can see right in. You know, granted, we haven't put much paint, or any paint I should say, on the glass, and you know, not much goes on. And we've actually taken away some of the details on the glass here, right in there. I'll show you in a later video or the next video if we can hopefully get to that stage here. But you can see right in, as well as, you know, that there, a bit of a glare from the lights, but you know, doing all that detailing is worth it. Some more detail has to go on the back wall there, but well worth to do all that detail. So I think the plan of action is we're going to actually glue, you know, this to the, you know, the main fuselage, and then obviously the canopy on, and then we're going to do the painting, because I really got a nice seal going right here, and that's without any glue. You know, I got the pieces in the two halves really tight now, and that's because obviously when I went to glue, you know, these together, I had them clamped pretty tight. So, talking about the sanding now, this has been quite the challenge. It's been the matter of, you know, the glue holding with clamps, and then, you know, putty, sand, putty, sand, putty, sand, and without, you know, losing the detailing. And I'm hoping I haven't lost any of the detailing, and you know, I'm getting there. You know, it feels nice and smooth, but I can still feel, you know, in some spots some ridges. So it's going to be a work in progress here, but it, you know, it's definitely coming along. And obviously, once the time comes when I get this nice and smooth, we'll get the window in here, and then I can get this glued down. Now obviously this is a custom made window, because the B25J, as this model was originally, does not have that there, obviously, right? Because we've taken this turret completely away and moved it to you know, the rear of the plane, I should say, at this point. But I can't glue that down until I get, you know, the window in there. Otherwise it'd be too hard to handle, because I want to get my fingers up into there to, you know, get that window placed. So once I get the window in there, we can get this glued down, and then again with the putty and sanding and smoothing. So I don't want to get that in there until I get, you know, this nicely, you know, sanded and smooth to the point where I'm happy, because once I get the paint down, there's no going back. And you know, sadly, as you can see, I got quite the gap I had to fix. And hopefully, you know, if there is something showing there, I can maybe hide that with some weathering and some paint chipping and things like that, you know. But I wish HK, you know, would have, you know, quality control, I guess. You know, I don't want to blame it all on them, but it is what it is, I suppose. Anyway, moving along here. Obviously we got the top turret in here, and this isn't the one we're going to be using. You know, I had cracked this, you know, while trying to get this perfect, you know, fit into the center of the plane, which, you know, I think we did. Don't worry, I got another one there. That one's, you know, nice and pristine. But we're going to get a nice little piece that I'm going to scratch build for armor right here. They had an armor plate here, obviously, because of the 50 cals. It was, you know, ripping apart the plane. So we'll get that fitted in, as well as we're going to get, I'm going to make something for underneath the plane right here, because the B-25Bs and I think some of the Cs had originally a turret underneath. And obviously for this mission, for weight and other, you know, considerations, they just removed it completely. So I'm going to have to make something to make it look like there was once a turret there. So that should be easy enough to do. And then we should be good to go with the painting, right? But right now it's just a matter of the turret. Now I do have this piece right here. This came from an older B25J I was working on. And, you know, I'll configure this a bit. Now this was for the J. So I'm going to have to do a little bit more history on the B25Bs to figure out the turret. But I do want to get this in to a certain point where, you know, you can still position the turret. But obviously this is going to be, you know, have the look of it on the deck of the Hornet. So, but anyway, this was meant to go here, which this is too long. So we'll have to figure something out. But I'm definitely working on that. And then it's just the matter of if, you know, do you want the turrets to look like they're loaded, right? So we have this to consider if you would like. So it's either going to be loaded or unloaded, again, just for appearance sake, right? So, and then it comes down to the barrels. And now you can have resin barrels, which I do have, but they don't look straight. And then the kit barrels, which, again, I don't think they look straight. So I'd like to use these guys right here. I've had a few questions on the channel about these barrels, and yes, I do like them and I do use them. They come in two parts, as you can see, an inner barrel and an outer barrel, like the shroud, and I love them. They're perfectly straight. They look great once painted up. They do chip a little easy, I will admit, but you shouldn't be playing with them anyway once they're built. But yes, I do like them. And they're completely straight and they look great. So talking about the props, now when I seen these AMS resin ones at first, I was kind of like, okay. But you know what? This is the kit one right there. And that is the AMS resin one. Now the kit piece right here in the middle is obviously the HK kit piece. The AMS resin only has the the blades. They have a few of the engine pieces, but I stuck with the kit pieces. And there you go. You know what? I like the AMS resin ones. I think the HK ones, the paddles, I think they're just a bit too wide. Maybe for the J, again, I'm not an expert. Maybe for the J, the paddles are more correct. I don't know. But I think those are a little bit more correct, especially for the era, like the Doolittle plane. But you be the judge. I just think these paddles are a little bit too wide. My personal opinion. But you guys can be the judge on which to use. But again, I think these are a little bit more correct. So once we decide, that's why, again, part A and part B, once we decide, we can just paint them up. And again, they were used just prior, brand new blades, just prior to being placed on the Hornet for the mission. So there we go. Again, it doesn't look like much work has been done, but a lot of behind the scenes stuff, right? Trying to get all these sanded and smoothed out, especially the plane, trying to sand and smooth without losing details. And again, every time you pick up the plane, for some reason your fingers pick up the plane, they always go to the windows. Finger placement, but all the windows are lining up nice. We're getting there. We're really getting there. It's just I don't want to rush it right at the end and the whole project fall apart in my hands. But here we go, guys. She's starting to look like a bee. Very happy. So please like, share, and subscribe. And I look very much forward to your thoughts and comments. So thanks so much.